Good day. My name is Stephan Wanjala, the Executive Director for Housing and Development Finance Consultants. In this video, we will explore emerging innovative practices in the incremental housing product delivery. We will examine the context, including the market, the institutional and policy context for incremental housing finance. We will detail an example of an incremental housing finance product, and we will extract key lessons for product design and institutional operations to promote incremental housing finance. Let's start by considering the size and nature of the target market for incremental housing finance. Over 70% of the world population access shelter through the so-called progressive housing. Generally, low-income households start with acquiring land, then building incrementally over years as they cannot afford formal mortgages. Households at the bottom of the income pyramid spend more than $330 billion annually on housing. Yet only 2.33% of the adults in economically developing nations have a mortgage, as per the World Bank report of 2011. Instead, people are using microloans. It is estimated that 20 to 30% of micro-enterprise loans are used for housing development. The demand for microfinance is large and growing, and there are signs that financiers are already looking for investment opportunities in incremental housing finance. For example, commercial banks, community banks, cooperatives are willing to embark on incremental housing finance lending. Let's look at how financial institutions need to respond to these market opportunities. Financiers need to consider a range of options to assist clients that cannot afford currently mortgages. This means there's a need for developing products that reflect the client's need, preferences, and capacity. The kinds of products offered as incremental housing finance product and financed by microfinance institutions and cooperatives assist households to finance land purchases and titling, progressive house construction, extension and repairs, home improvements which include building a new roof, better toilet or kitchen, among others. Many low-income households lack a stable income. Financial institutions need to develop methodologies with enabling repayment plans that suit these household income patterns. Financial institutions have suffered poor results following downscaling for lack of familiarity with this client market segment. They require target market knowledge and capacity building to guarantee proper underwriting. If we were to upscale incremental housing finance operations to meet the massive demand for such services, our institutions need adequate management information systems, data collection programs. Overcoming the data and technological limitations may require partnership between incremental housing finance institutions and technical support organizations. In order to scale, they will also require long-term funding. There are policy challenges in providing incremental housing finance products. There is little policy attention focused on unlocking mass low income or appropriate and attainable housing as per the end user tastes, preferences, and capacities. The broad international development programs, e.g. the MDGs, exclude broader housing market concerns. International support focuses mostly on upgrading and on sustainable or green development. But there is simply insufficient supply of housing for the low and middle income groups. There are advances in housing finance. Several of the innovations include rent-to-own schemes. Tech-based finance models in Africa, India can identify, assess, and monitor borrowers in the informal sector. Installment sales agreements, financing that embraces alternative tenure solutions. Other important innovations are differentiating housing loans by offering separate products, such as small short-term loans. However, these short-term loans are necessarily longer than micro-enterprise loans, using non-traditional collateral and underwriting features, and incorporating client education and housing support services into the process. The attached diagram shows the components of a product prototype and the range of options it might include. In this case, the target population is a salaried client having a stable and reliable source of income, earning a minimum of $300. The loan offer could include finance for home improvement and new construction, housing support services provided, material lease, sample house designs, advice on alternative building technologies, construction tips, referrals for local builders, and support on acquisition of land title. Capacity to pay is based on current income. Mode of delivery includes individuals and groups. The loan advance is based on the housing need, alternative collateral, and willingness to pay. The amounts advanced are shown in the diagram. Land purchase $2,400 to $4,800, land and core house $3,800 to $9,600, fencing $1,400, roofing with tiles $2,800, roofing with iron sheets $1,900, water tank $400 to $600, water harvesting $1,100. The loan tenure is between 12 months to 36 months. Payment frequency may be weekly, fortnightly, and monthly based on the cash flow of the source of income. Loan conditions include the client's contribution or deposit is 20% of the loan. The same conditions as those offered through business loans apply, leveraging on microfinance principles. Alternative forms of collateral apply. These include check-off, business and household assets, co-signer to guarantee repayment, co-own with microfinance institutions, are the various forms of alternative collaterals used in the microfinance lending business, e.g. land purchase. Disbursement in two tranches, clients' payment capacity. Clients can commit 20 to 30% of the net disposable income toward loan repayment. The total debt must not exceed 40% of household income. The interest rate is 19.5% payable on the reducing balance. Processing fee 2% plus VAT. The loan is delivered physically through microfinance institution branches and is processed by the current loans officers who provide business loans. These officers are trained and have a set target for the incremental housing product. This involves adopting the current business loan process and integrating household savings and financial education as part of the process for the incremental housing product delivery. Marketing and promotion is undertaken by loans officers and through existing marketing campaigns. Positioning may include a slogan in local language such as Nyumba Bora Sio Bora Nyumba, which means quality house, not just a house. There are key lessons from best practice operations that are useful for product design, including the product team should be multidisciplinary. It takes varied skills to design the right product. And participation of a range of team members promotes ownership of the concept. Field staff should also be included in the development of the product prototypes. The prototypes must not cannibalize other products of the institution. Product design must match both institutional needs and clients' needs. Measures must be included within the design to avoid the misuse of the loan for purposes other than for housing. It is necessary to segment the market and tailor customer approaches. Low-income households are not a homogeneous group. It is useful to design ready-made capacity building packages for customers and financial institutions, such as courses or tools in financial literacy and housing support services. It is also important to design an incentive scheme for the loans officers that encourages them to promote new incremental housing finance product. You must consider staff costs and travel time for monitoring target family household. It is necessary to monitor the pilot programs, and so costs of monitoring target households must be included in the product design costs. In general, we need to normalize microfinance as a financing option for low-income housing. This means integrating microfinance principles within the programs and plans of housing practitioners, commercial banking, investors, and banking regulators. There are also key lessons from best practice for incremental housing finance institutions, including institutions need to be equipped to design products to match clients' needs and capacities. Additional training is required on best practices on microfinance and on lending to the informal sector that has been developed over the years. Management information systems have been adopted for informal sector lending, have already worked in the same delivery model that is required for housing, and should be adopted to suit housing operations. In order to promote more long-term funding, institutions must strive to inform the investors about the product details and its impact. It is important that loan terms meet end-user capacities to avoid mismatch that exists, that housing products are treated as business loans. In order to effectively match financial institutions and borrowers' needs, it is important that financial institutions embrace differentiation, the tailoring of different products to match different end user needs. In conclusion, it is important that we keep promoting, testing, and growing incremental housing finance product. There is a need for enabling policy and regulatory framework, but also for more scalable models to be tested. Scale is necessary to prove incremental housing works in housing development and to attract more investment to this nascent product. Thank you.